Coming up, a poster on display at the West Virginia State Capitol during a highly attended event led to some problems late last week. Vice President Mike Pence will be in the Commonwealth later this week. We will tell you why. And a massive drug bust in New York State leads to a startling discovery.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5:29 on Monday, March the 4th. Thank you for tuning into Mountain News This Morning. I'm Will Puckett. Well, if you head outside, you're going to want a jacket and to give yourself a little extra time if you're heading to work and taking your kids to school. Those kids who might be in session today, we have a number of closings down below, but Brandon, to the north, they saw a dusting of snow. Down here, they're seeing sleet and flurries, just enough to make driving a little bit tricky this morning.
Exactly. So just be careful. Give yourself an extra couple of minutes. Think you'll be okay this morning, but it is cold too. So let's take a look at live pinpoint Doppler radar. A little bit of blue still trying to show up there, so some snowflakes still falling across parts of the region this morning. Zero visibility over in Wise. Let's take a look at that. The mountaintop locations, seeing some of that this morning. Very dense fog over that way. Temperatures in the 20s and close to 30 as we head through the daytime hours. And the headlines for today: slick spots early, decreasing clouds later, and a cold few days on tap. The rest of the forecast on the way in a few minutes.
All righty, Brendan, we'll be back with you. Well, an anti-Muslim poster displayed at the West Virginia State Capitol last week caused outrage and later an apology on the House floor. The poster falsely connected a Muslim U.S. Congresswoman to the 2001 terrorist attacks as part of a protest group's display during the legislature's GOP Day Friday. Democratic delegate Mike Caputo made the apology after his fiery reaction to the poster led to him forcing open a door, which ended up injuring a doorkeeper.
Mr. Speaker, and to the members, I sincerely apologize for forcing that door open.
Republicans called on House Democrats to denounce Caputo's actions, while Democrats expressed outrage the display was there in the first place. Party reps say they were not aware of and did not approve the sign at the Capitol and immediately asked the exhibitor to remove the sign upon learning about it. Now, also in West Virginia, yesterday was the first Sunday to allow alcohol sales statewide. The bill recently signed by Governor Jim Justice allows retail outlets to sell liquor after 1 p.m. The Distilled Spirits Council said the law could bring the state more than $1 million in revenue. The bill does not allow the sale of liquor on Easter or when Christmas falls on a Sunday. Well, back here in the Commonwealth, Kentucky school superintendents are holding a statewide news conference at noon. They are talking about House Bill 205 and their concerns about what it means for students in our state. Our sister station, WKYT, plans to carry the conference live on their website, and we will have more on this story later today right here on WYMT.com. Meanwhile, Vice President Mike Pence will be in the Bluegrass later this week for a fundraiser for Governor Matt Bevin. The Associated Press was able to obtain a copy of the invitation to the event being held Friday at the Aviation Museum of Kentucky in Lexington. The Vice President was governor of Indiana when Governor Bevin was first elected in 2015. Kentucky is one of only 3 states that will elect a new governor this year. Well, it is one of the most controversial things to come out of the recent North Korea summit. President Trump saying he takes Kim Jong-un at his word that he did not know about the treatment of an American student jailed by the North Koreans. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was also at the summit. Gray Washington Bureau's Peter Zampa asked him about the president's remarks.
The president said he takes Kim Jong-un at his word that he didn't know about the treatment of the University of Virginia student Otto Warmbier that led to his death. Do you believe Kim Jong-un?
So, you know, I've had a chance to spend a fair amount of time with the Warmbier family. They're great people, truly wonderful people who suffered a horrific loss. And the president said that again yesterday, too. The president also said that he understands who's responsible for his death. It's the regime in North Korea. He holds them responsible. You know, most folks who are asking this question really are trying to get at why would we engage? Why do we have those discussions in Hanoi? Why have I been negotiating with a country that has horrible human rights abuses? And the answer is, you know, those were going on for an awfully long time. The previous administration took an approach of strategic patience. You can see that didn't work. We're trying to fix it. We're trying to correct. We're trying to get North Korea to course correct so there'll never be another suffering like the Warmbier family has gone through. You know, we also had the good fortune, I personally had the good fortune of bringing 3 Americans home. I wish we could have brought Otto home in a condition that was better and this tragedy had not taken place. We're determined to get Americans back. We got another American back from Yemen just this past week.
But do you believe Kim Jong-un when he says he didn't know about the treatment that led to his death?
We take very seriously the North Korean human rights violations, and we know exactly who's responsible for the death of Otto Warmbier. The North Korean regime is responsible for the death of Otto Warmbier. So there's no doubt about that.
So Kim Jong-un?
The North Korean regime is responsible for the death of Otto Warmbier. End of story.
Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for taking some time.
Thank you very much, sir.
Appreciate it.
Now, President Trump took to Twitter after the summit defending his remarks about Warmbier, saying in part, "I never like being misinterpreted, but especially when it comes to Otto Warmbier and his great family. Remember, I got Otto out along with 3 others. The previous administration did nothing, and he was taken on there with, of course, I hold North Korea responsible for Otto's mistreatment and death." Meanwhile, Senator Rand Paul says he cannot support President Trump's national emergency declaration that unlocked billions of dollars for his border wall. The Bowling Green Daily News reports the Kentucky Republican made the comments at a GOP fundraiser Saturday night. It reported he said, quote, "I cannot vote to give the president the power to spend money that has not been appropriated by Congress. With that, the Senate now likely has enough votes to approve a bill blocking President Trump's declaration. The bill already cleared the House." Well, the U.S. and South Korea will begin the first of their reconfigured, scaled-down joint military exercises today. The drills will continue for about a week until March 12th. The 2 countries are shifting their training strategy away from the big, high-profile drills that have caused tensions with Pyongyang. The U.S. and South Korea military leaders say they will focus on smaller exercises and even virtual training. Well, Democratic presidential candidates gathered in Selma, Alabama Sunday to remember a somber day in American civil rights history. This weekend marked the 54th anniversary of Bloody Sunday, when peaceful demonstrators rallying for equal voting rights were brutally beaten. Candidates praised the progress that has been made, but acknowledge there is still work left to be done.
I worry now that we are at a point in our country where we see a moral vandalism that is attacking our ideals and beliefs and eroding the dream of our nation.
Civil rights leader John Lewis, who was badly beaten in the 1965 confrontation on the bridge, also honored this weekend. Well, in other news, there was a big drug bust in New York State this weekend. The DEA's Tactical Diversion Squad and the Greensburg Task Force executed a search warrant at a home on Euclid Avenue in Ardsley Friday morning. Inside, investigators say they found 6 kilos of heroin and 5 kilos of fentanyl. The fentanyl alone has enough potency to kill nearly 2 million people. In local news, many in Pikeville honored a local veteran Sunday. The local VFW set up a Texas Roadhouse to give 5-year veteran Landon Tackett a proper welcome home. WYMT's Marianne Fletcher was there for the festivities that Tackett didn't even know was coming.
A surprise welcome home party.
He knows zero about this at all.
Nathan Sesko is a longtime friend of bronze medal recipient Landon Tackett.
I know the kid is real humble. He's probably not going to be real acceptant to thinking he deserves it, but he does.
Tackett is from Betsy Lane, served 5 years in the United States military, and traveled the world.
So I was stationed in Vilseck, Germany, Italy, Switzerland, Denmark, Greece, Romania, Egypt, Africa, and Afghanistan, obviously.
On Sunday, to his surprise, Pikeville Mayor Jimmy Carter presented Tackett with the key to the city.
It was supposed to just be me and my fiance and my friends and just have a nice dinner.
Sesko says the dinner snowballed into this presentation after city officials found out about Tackett's homecoming.
So it's really good that the community came together just to welcome our soldiers home.
And while Tackett is humble,
this happened and it was crazy.
He thanks everyone for their support.
I just want to thank everybody that came. It's raining, the weather's horrible, and for people to stand here in the rain and be cold to support me, that's the greatest honor I could ever have.
Welcoming a soldier home.
When you see this, you know it's worth it.
In Pike County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Tackett says he is planning to take some time off to allow his body and mind to recoup. Officials with Texas Roadhouse say they are happy to help honor him for his years of bravery. A well-known face around Johnson County will be laid to rest later today. Kathy Gullett was a retired teacher at Johnson Central, but still was heavily involved with the school. She died last week from health issues. Her family and friends say that even though she is not on the sidelines anymore, her legacy will remain forever.
She was just such a lot, and she was always there for everything, whether it be school or family, and she just loved unconditionally, and we've all seen that this week by people sharing their memories, and we're all going to miss her very, very much because she was just such a great she had such great energy, and we just love her.
Gullett's funeral will be at 1 p.m. in the gym at the high school. Well, coming up on Mountain News this morning, Kentucky native Johnny Depp is suing his ex-girlfriend for a lot of money. We will tell you why.
Well, we made it to March, and we're going to see temperatures that would make you think that you've gone back a month instead of getting closer to spring. I'll have the chilly details in about 3 minutes.